A warm welcome to all of you from the Divine School of Homeopathy, and we are meeting here again to learn the biochemic system of medicines. Up till now, we have finished the 10 remedies from these 12 tissue salts, and today we have to go ahead with the 11 number. I will not going to discuss the revision because revision already we have done number of times. Those people who are newcomers over here on this channel, I will suggest that they should go to the YouTube channel, the Dr. Prasad Rasal, the Divine School of Homeopathy, and subscribe the channel and find it out the playlist. You will have all the videos of biochemic system of medicines right from the first theory with every remedy, and they can learn that from there. Yesterday we have finished one of the natrum element, that is natrum phosphoricum. In natrum phosphoricum, few things which we discussed is nothing but it is a very important ingredient, plays a catalyst role in conversion of lactic acid towards the carbonic acid plus water. And that carbonic acid ultimately is carried by natrum phos molecule. One molecule of natrum phos plus two molecules of carbonic acid that has been taken to the lungs, and there the conversion takes place, the carbon with the help of oxygen which comes through the inspiration. And inspiration is the iron is attaches the oxygen, the carbon dioxide is thrown away, with the exhalation the moisture H2O is thrown away. So this specific function is under the control of a natrum phosphoricum. Natrum phos also plays very vital role in the liver also. That also we have learned that it plays very vital role over there in the formation of a glycogen as well as the uric acid. And that glycogen is carried from there to the muscles, and in the muscles when it is utilized it converts into lactic acid, and again that lactic acid is converted into the carbonic acid plus water. That is done with the help of this natrum phos. Then we have learned that it is also important in the emulsification of fatty acids. So whenever the cells are there, the WBC which carries the peptones as well as the fatty acid, and they are taken from the intestines toward the desired tissue, either through direct channel or either through thoracic duct. If any way it obstructs over there any time, natrum phos is the element which emulsifies that fat contains the peptones over there and frees that WBC, and it again comes into the function. That concept of it also we have discussed. And also last point which we have discussed, that generally if this obstruction happens, the scrofulous diathesis or tuberculosis which is used to follow over there, natrum phos being phosphorus associated with natrum have typical tubercular constitution, and scrofulous diathesis plays a very vital role in the recovery. So this pathophysiological action of natrum phos we have discussed. Today we will going to learn one more salt from the natrum family. All the three salts, natrum mure, natrum phos, natrum sulf from the natrum group, all of them are well studied in homeopathy, and that's why well proving is there in homeopathic materia medica. We can get detailed data regarding all those three remedies in our materia medica, but we never get the physiological chemical data in our materia medica. And that's why in with the Sussler's 12 tissue remedies we are understanding that concept which is essential in order to make our knowledge regarding the materia medica more scientific. So let us start with the natrum sulfuricum. So it is sodium sulfate. It is also called as a Glauber's salt. So Glauber already we have discussed. He is the first person who has developed that salt, and that's why his name was given to this. He was a Hungarian scientist. So preparation, the chemical properties that you can read over the slide. I don't want to go into details of that, but I want to go into details of natrum phos physiological chemical data. Physiological chemical data, the sulfuric acid form by the oxidation of albuminides would destroy the tissue where it united in its nascent state with the carbons by which carbonic acid is set free. So this is one important thing one has to understand. If albuminides, oxidation of the albuminides happens, the product is sulfuric acid. And if this sulfuric acid never gets combined, then it has a capacity to destroy the tissues, and that's why it should be get communicated with the carbonates, natrum carbonates. So what happens when natrum carbonate and sulfuric acid comes in contact? What happens is the result is the natrum sulf which develops on one side, at the same time carbonic acid which is set free, and that carbonic acid is again taken with the help of a natrum phos towards the lung. See, these physiological chemical reactions which happens in our body with the help of these inorganic salts, and one salt helps another salt, and so that this harmony itself tries to maintain your health. This is too important to understand. So, by which the carbonic acid is set free, this salt does not appear in the cells, only in the intercellular fluids. So, natrum sulfuricum never appears inside the cell, it happens to be there in the interstitial fluids. It aids and regulates the excretion of superfluous water. That example, that which arises from the decomposition of lactic acid with the phosphate of sodium, edemas, etc. We have learned in yesterday's lecture that natrum phos, which converts the lactic acid into the hydrocarbonic acid, carbonic acid, and water over there. That water which is formed after the oxidation, it is much more in quantity, which should be taken from that area to the excretory system. If it remains over there, it produces edema. And that's why if the natrum sulf is missing, this process never follows. And when this process is not followed, edema is the result. The puffiness is the result. So, disturbance of molecular motion of this salt prevents the elimination of such water from the tissues as is produced by oxidation of organic substances. See, this is very important. Disturbance of molecular motion of this salt prevents the elimination of water. So, if that water is not eliminated properly from the tissues as produced by the oxidation process of the organic substances, it remains over there, produces the edema. So this is first physiological chemical action of natrum sulfuricum. It plays very vital role in the eliminative processes where the water is taken away from the site, from the tissue site, from the intercellular spaces, and it is directly excreted through the kidney. It is not only present in intercellular spaces over there in the tissues, it is also present in the kidneys also. The action of natrum sulf is opposite that of natrum mur. How it is different? Let us see. Both have property to attract the water, but for the opposite purposes. Natrum mur, we have learned that natrum mur attracts the water which is to be used in the organism. Natrum mur is the part and parcel of a cell. It remains inside the cell, and it absorbs or it attracts the water inside the cell in order to moisten the cell and to carry out the function or division inside the cell. While natrum sulf attracts the water due to the retrograde metamorphosis, that means going into the backward direction of the cell process change, and secures its elimination from the organism. So excess of water which develops over there as a product of oxidation of that processes, which should be which if it remains in the intercellular spaces more in quantity, it produces edema. It disturbs the function, and natrum sulf from there eliminates the water from the intercellular spaces and it has been taken to the eliminatory system such as urinary system. Natrum mur furthers the division of the cells for purposes of increase. Natrum mur attracts the water for the purpose of division of the cells. So it requires natrum is required inside the cell for the division process. Natrum self is opposite. Natrum self takes away water from the worn out leukocytes. Worn out leukocytes means WBCs. So with the exhausted WBCs, whatever the water content is there, it has been taken away from the natrum sulfuricum and thereby accomplishes their disintegration. So that WBC which is worn out, exhausted, थकलेली असते, that has been taken away, that is disintegrated and it has been taken away. If water content is not taken away from that cells, it is not destroyed. And for that purpose, natrum cell becomes a very important remedy in leukemia because it is there are number of cells which develops over there. At the same time, destruction happens to be there. If destruction never happens properly, the number of cells goes on increasing and leukemia can develop. So this natrum cell, being a psychotic remedy, is very important remedy in the process of leukemia. We have learned that ferrum phos is also recommended for the leukemia. This is also one more remedy. One should think about leukemia. It has a very specific miasmatic focus behind that. It irritates epithelial cells and nerves, as will be seen in the following facts. So, natrum cell also plays role in epithelial cells as well as nerves. How it plays its role? Let us see. In consequence of the induced activity by natrum cell of the epithelial cells lining the uriniferous tubes. So, in the kidneys, in the uriniferous tubes, the natrum cell of the epithelial cells lining the uriniferous tubules, superfluous water holding in the solution or in suspension products of metamorphosis is sent to the kidney. This leaves the organism by the way of a ureter and bladder as urine. So that water content is taken away with the help of a natrum cell and it has been thrown into the lumen so that it can pass to the ureter and kidney. Natrum cell, by stimulating the epithelial cells of the bile duct. So the way it works in the uriniferous tubes, it also works in the bile ducts, pancreas and intestinal canal, further the normal secretion of these organs. So it plays a very vital role in maintenance of fluid balance at all level, in the kidneys, in the lungs, in the liver, in the pancreas, in the intestinal canal, everywhere it maintains the normal secretions of these organs. It also has the function to stimulate the nerves of this part. So this remedy is also useful or having action on the nervous system. If the sensory nerves of the bladder are not stimulated by natrum cell, the impulse to urinate is not reported to consciousness and involuntary urination or enuresis results. So nervous system, it has very important control. So sensory nerves of the bladder, so bladder lining cells are there, epithelial cells. If they are not stimulated by the natrum cell, what happens? The impulse to urinate is not reported. So युरिनेशनला जायला पाहिजे हा इम्पल्सच तयार होत नाही अँड टू द कॉन्शियसनेस म्हणजे माणसाला समजत नाही अँड व्हॉट अल्टिमेट रिझल्ट इज इनव्हॉलंटरी sorry urination and that's why enuresis results. Opposite side thing is that if the motor nerves of the detrusor muscle is the bladder lining muscles, it is also called as detrusor urinic muscle, and they are not irritated, the suppression of urine occurs over there. What happens if the motor nerves of that detrusor muscles which are not irritated, so the water is not thrown away and ultimately the suppression of urine happens because of that. See how much grand role it plays. It plays its role basically in the water metabolism. How to take away or eliminate the water from different parts, and also from the kidneys, also in the bile, maintaining the bile secretions, pancreatic secretions, intestinal secretions, that also played with the natrum sulfuricum. In consequence of an irregular action of natrum cell on the nerves supplying the gall apparatus, that is gallbladder apparatus, we may have an increase or diminution of the secretion. So it maintains a role in the secretions of the gallbladder, in secretions of the bile. So everywhere it plays maintenance of role in maintaining the water balance. If a diabetes mellitus is caused by lessened secretion of pancreatic fluid, that is insulin, natrum salt may be the remedy required. Natrum salt is specifically used as an antipsychotic remedy, and diabetes is psychotic, so it plays a very vital role in diabetes mellitus. If the motor nerves of the colon are not influenced sufficiently, natrum salt, by the natrum salt, constipation and flatulent colic results, and that's why it is a very important remedy again along with natrum phos in the indigestion, the constipation as well as flatulent colic. If in a consequence of disturbed molecular motion of natrum cell, the elimination of superfluous water from the intercellular spaces is rendered tardy and hydramia develops. So, natrum sulf, we know that it is a hydrogenoid constitution remedy. Hydrogenoid which carries more water inside, and that is the specific quality of this natrum cell. The constitution of these people are hydrogenoid. They gets affected whenever they comes in contact with the water. They gets aggravated because of eating food which contains more water, eating fruits which contains more water. So this is very typical with the natrum sulfuricum. So gravels, one gravels typical hydrogenoid constitutional remedy is this natrum sulfuricum, a very close in relation with the psychotic miasm. The hydramia and the functional disturbances within the gall secreting apparatus are conditions for the development of the following diseases. So in liver and gallbladder, this how this affects, which are the diseases which are common because of natrum sulfuricum molecular motion is disturbed. Intermittent and bilious fevers, first important thing. So this is quite common that there is an intermittent and bilious fevers which happens. The influenza is another. Then vomiting of a bile, bilious diarrhea, edema, edematous erysipelas. Erysipelas, it is the inflammation of the epithelium or upper layer of the skin. Vesicular eruptions, so eruptions which contains fluid, and any papule which contains fluid is vesicular eruptions, such as for example herpes zoster vesicular, filled with yellow serum, moist eczema, see this is very important, eczema which is moist, herpes, that is herpes zoster, psychotic growths means it is the warts which happens to be there, catarrh, that is inflammation of the mucous membrane with yellowish green or greenish secretions. Greenish secretions already we have discussed while discussing the calcarea sulf also, kali sulf also, because this sulfate which develops over there because of oxidation processes produces this greenish color over there, and that's why natrum sulf having very typical yellowish or yellowish greenish discharge everywhere. So if there is a coryza, it is also greenish, thick yellow greenish discharge, or expectoration is also greenish in appearance. Natrum sulf corresponds to the hydrogenoid constitution of gravel, flabby, watery, hydramic. Already we have discussed about this thing. So that is very typical that these people are very typically psychotic, having a hydrogenoid constitution and affected because of water. Persons suffering from hydramia are worse in damp weather, that is characteristic of the natrum sulf which we know, near water, enclosed damp dwellings, in cellars, and etc., and are better under the opposite condition. So that is very typical characteristic modality of the natrum sulf, that because of hydrogenoid constitution they gets aggravated wherever they comes in contact with the water, either in the food, either as a drink, either in the vegetables which grows near water, or animals which or fish, because of fish they gets aggravated because it remains in water and water content is high, or fruits which carries a lot of water, and the aggravation is there with the natrium sulfuricum. Now we'll turn towards the general action. So this is physiologico-chemical data regarding the natrium sulfate. Like other alkaline sulfates, an active cathartic. Cathartic म्हणजे काय? Cathartic म्हणजे रेचक. So it is a very good remedy those who are having constipation as a purgative. It excites the secretions of the intestines and stimulates the activity of the intestinal gland, liver and pancreas. And that's because of which the constipation problem can be solved. In addition, however, it exhibits a marked similarity to the uric acid diathesis in general and is certainly a valuable remedy in combating numerous phases of that polymorphous malady said by T.F. Allen. So, if you go with the regular materia medicas, for example, Boyck's materia medica or Allen's keynotes, you will have natrium sulf under the uric acid diathesis. Yes, this is the remedy which plays very vital role in uric acid diathesis. We have learned yesterday also in natrium phos also there is uric acid diathesis, because if the uric acid is not maintained in fluid level, then there are the salts of sodium urate can happen and produces a gout in case of natrium phos. This remedy itself is having the similar type of action. Gastric bilious conditions. See, this is very important. Gastric bilious condition. काही पेशंट्स तुमच्याकडे येतात, दे टॉक्स इन दिस सेन्स, डॉक्टर मला पित्त आहे, खूप पित्ताचा आजार आहे. डोंट फॉरगेट दिस टू सॉल्ट्स, natrium phos and natrium sulf. They are very very important. When it is associated with more indigestion, more liver affection, natrium sulf plays a very vital role. Gastric bilious conditions, accumulation of water in the areolar tissues, yellow watery secretions on the skin, or yellowish scales forming an eruption of vesicles. So that this is very typical eruptions of natrium sulf which happen along with the gastric bilious conditions. Excessive secretion of a bile, liver affections, gravel and sand in the urine. So urinary calculi, this is very important remedy. For gallbladder calculi, this is very important remedy. Diabetes, gout and figwarts. See, this is the pathophysiology where you can think of a natrium sulf. Excessive secretion of a bile, the liver affections, the gravel and sand in urine, diabetes mellitus, gout, figwarts. The chief characteristic is the dirty greenish grey or greenish brown coating on the root of the tongue and aggravation from lying on left side. So tongue typically greenish brown in color, yellowish golden in natrium phosphoricum. Kali muraticum we have learned that it is greyish in appearance. So this is also typical of the natrium sulfuricum. It is greenish brown. Natrium sulf combines in a measure the wonderful effects of natriumol and of sulfur in the western climate as an active malarial agent. So this is also a good remedy along with natrium muraticum. This is also a good remedy for the malarial diseases. Its complaints are those that are brought on by living in damp houses, basements and cellars. So this is the commonest maintaining cause or aggravating cause in case of natrium sulfuricum. There are three remedies one should not forget with the damp rainy weather aggravation: the Rustox, the Dellcamara and the natrium sulf. Rustox is an acute, very acute. Dellcamara is a subacute and the chronic is the natrium sulfuricum. So this is the three remedies having the similar features over there. Complaints are worse in wet weather, corresponding to the hydrogenoid constitution and a psychotic dyscrasia. Constitutional conditions in the children that results in chest catarrh and asthmatic complaints. If you open the Boyck's materia medica, you will have there is in italics under the respiratory children's asthma, where natrium sulf plays very vital role. In fact, I will say that you must give a doses of natrum first, natrum sulf for the asthma in children uh, as an intercurrent, you so that the psychotic dyscrasia can be removed with the help of natrum sulf and patient can be cured forever. This is very important. I used to use this natrum sulf in children's asthma, and that can be tackled very easily with the help of that. The morbid alterations caused by natrum sulf begin to observable near the end of ileum and in the lower part of colon. So natrum sulf plays very important role in ileum as well as lower part of the colon. In the lower part of colon, the follicles appear swollen with a bright red margin of capillaries. The mucous membrane between is either pale or show considerable dendritic injection. So it plays very vital role over there in the lower part of colon, and number of times the constipation is the result which can be cured with the help of a natrum sulf. If there is a natrum sulf is not there, or if there is a disturbance at the molecular motion of the natrum sulf, the constipation happens because of that. In the lower part of ileum, the mucous membrane shows saturated, bright red coloring, mostly equal. It is the chief ingredient in Carlsbad water, so largely used for its action on the liver. Also contained in the cold springs of the Isle of Wight, that is of Pulana, Mariband, or Bed. These are different places where there are different lakes or different rivers where water contains more of a natrum sulfuricum in that, and that's why number of times people goes over there, they uses that for the purpose of drinking or for bathing, and the number of disorders can get covered because of more content of the natrum sulf over there. Sulfate of sodium as a hemostatic. This is another role which is mentioned by Reverdin. So he has utilized sulfate of sodium as a hemostatic, but he has used it in the injection form. But Sussler says that it is if you give internally in the mouth, it can act. Reverdin, in the paper read before the French Surgical Association, advocates the employment of sulfate of sodium as a hemostatic. He has employed it a number of times successfully, and it is used in small doses, 10 centigrams every hour in dangerous capillary hemorrhage, either of a spontaneous or traumatic origin. As an example, after the removal of a subcutaneous benign tumor, there followed a hemorrhage which resisted all treatments for 8 weeks. The same was true of the other cases of traumatic origin and also in cases of menorrhagia. So this is Reverdin's experience regarding the natrum sodium sulfate. But this remedy was used by Kussmaul and is apparently popular in north of Germany in cases of hemophilia. Underline this. This is again one more important entity which is covered under the natrum sulfuricum. So leukemia, hemophilia. So these blood pathologies are hemostatic. See the wide action of the natrum sulf. It is not only the liver remedy, but it also acts with all those systems. By experimental and clinical observation, the author determined that this drug should be given by mouth only, as it is ineffectual when used in a subcutaneous injection. Its continued use has expelled the tapeworm. See, this is again one more indication. In tapeworm, natrum sulf plays very vital role. Chorea with constipation was treated by Redmaker with a 6% solution. Dose a glass during day until 3 or 4 stools sets in. So that was how it was used by Redmaker. That dose is mentioned over there. So this is regarding the general action about the natrum sulf. Now we'll go towards the last parts of the remedy, the homeopathic data. Homeopathic data is the remedy was proved by Schreiter in 1832 and by Nenning. The best management of the symptoms appeared in Hering's Materia Medica and even in Allen's Encyclopedia. But the credit of greatly enlarging our philosophical conception and therapeutic application of these drugs belongs to Gravol, who showed the correspondence of this drug to the so-called hydrogenoid constitution, the chronic effects of the gonorrheal infection. His observations have been repeatedly verified. Administration in lead colic low 1x to 2x, and often Schussler recommends the 6x saturation. Gravol used mainly the 2x to 6x potency, while the 30th and 200 have been used by Hering and others. So generally, this remedy, being a proper antipsychotic remedy, can be used in high potencies as on the basis of symptom similarity or on the basis of the miasmatic focus. But if you are using it on the basis of the physiological action of the remedy, then you must use it in decimal scale in the 6x potency. Last part of the natrum sulfuricum, and this is very important, only one slide. Natrum sulf has many symptoms in common both with the natrums and sulfur. So this is the remedy relationship. In the eye symptoms, compare the graphitis, which also has the extreme aggravation from light in chronic eye affection. So this is very typical. Eye symptoms, you get aggravation by light, graphitis. Along with graphitis, natrum sulf plays a very vital role. In the cough, bryonia corresponds to the natrum sulf. In the all gone sensation in the chest, soreness and need of steadying the chest, hence relief by pressure. But natrum sulf has much more the mucopurulent thick ropey yellowish green expression, hence in later stages. Bryonia more in the earlier, when cough is more irritable with much rawness, constriction, burning sensation, or sensation of a tearing in the chest. See, this is the comparative mathematics. So, with the bryonia and natrum sulf, the cough which is in early phase of a pneumonitis, bryonia plays a very vital role. Where there is a constriction sensation, or rawness is there, or burning is there, or tearing in the chest is there. Yes, these are things where for which bryonia. But if it continues and turns towards the yellowish, purulent, greenish discharges, then natrum sulf plays a very vital role over there. So this is the comparison between bryonia and natrum sulf and the pneumonitis which he has mentioned. In the asthma, compare also Cilicia as a radical remedy. Yes, Cilicia and natrum sulf. Cilicia is more psychosyphilitic, natrum sulf is more psychotic. In gonorrhea, natrum sulf competes with thuja and mercurius. Yes, natrum sulf and thuja very close to each other. Natrum sulf, thuja and medorinum all are kings of antipsychotics. Mercurius is more psychosyphilitic and syphilitic. It is painless with the natrum sulf and discharge keep up yellowish green and thick discharge. Complementary to thuja for deep-seated psychotic constitutional affections or where a psychotic condition is engrafted on hydrogenoid base. See, this is very important understanding that if you are given thuja to the patient and part of it is covered, think of natrum sulf in order to cure that completely. Natrum sulf is a very big entity as compared to the thuja. Second important thing, if you read the Kent's Matra Medica, in arsenic album, Kent mentions over there, this remedy can palliate the asthma but never cures the asthma. You will require either natrum sulf, either thuja or medorinum as an antipsychotic remedy to cure the complete psychotic state and remove the asthma forever. So this natrum sulf, which is having a hydrogenoid base, like psychotic miasm, generally asthma is very common indication, and this is very important remedy to tackle the psychotic and hydrogenoid base. In polyuria, think of ferrum phosphoric acid which precedes it. So ferrum phosphoricum, the phosphoric acid, these are first remedies to be think of in polyuria. Then you can think of natrum sulf. Compare Stillingia in the hip diseases. So this is the comparative materia medica, which are relationship of natrum sulf with these comparative remedies, which is mentioned by Schussler over there. So we have learned a lot of things regarding the pathophysiology of natrum sulfuricum. It has very wide action. Basically, it is one of the important ingredient of water metabolism, water metabolism everywhere. So excess of water through in the interstitial or intercellular spaces, it's taken away through the eliminative processes through the kidneys, and it has been excreted, so that water balance is maintained everywhere, and that is the main fucking function, being a remedy of a hydrogenoid constitution. If it never happens, edema is the result, puffiness is the result, growth is the result, and this is what we have learned. This is having very typical greenish discharges or greenish yellowish discharges. It is very important remedy in the blood pathologies, specifically in the leukemias. We have learned that how it works. It takes away the water contents in worn out the WBCs, and those WBCs can get disintegrated thereafter and maintains the leukocytic balance. So it is very important remedy for that, as well as in the hemophilia. This remedy plays because it is a good remedy for hemostasis, and that's why it plays very vital role. Being a psychotic remedy, it covers the miasmatic focus also and cures the patient. So we have learned this 11th remedy from our 12 tissue remedies, and we are discussing one by one. The last one is remaining, and that is Cilicia. Tomorrow we'll finish the Cilicia, and on Sunday we'll have a holiday. After a long time, I will going to take a holiday because because basically I'll be going to Nagar for certain purpose reason, and that's why I'm not unable to come on the live. That is first reason. And second thing, I'll suggest all of you to go through this biochemic system of medicines again, all the videos or from the books, read them again, and we'll meet on Monday in order to recollect whatever we have learned with clinical cases, with clinical presentation, and with there are number of questions arises in students mind, how to use, when to use, whether to use along with a constitutional or whether alone are sufficient to cure the diseases. All the questions regarding the biochemic system of medicines are there in the student's mind or in practitioner's mind. So that Monday's lecture I will going to discuss all those things with all of you. So till that period, thank you being over here since long time, and I will suggest to recommend our channel to all your friends so that everyone will get benefited for the homeopathy. And it is a movement which have been started by me. I'm working for since 30 years. I'm happy with my practice. I'm happy at all levels, but I am not happy at the level where the homeopathy is still there. And for that purpose, it is our in fact work. One should work for the students so that homeopathy automatically will be taken to the root level, and this is all done only for that purpose. So my suggestion is there that you must